Hey folks, welcome back to the channel.
Hello.
And welcome to Claire's
Crafty Corner
summer collaboration.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
It is.
Claire's always been like a massive favourite of mine, and just as we started, she stopped doing her collaborations. So now I'm doing one. Woohoo! So the theme is summer, and I thought I would make a tray.
Okay.
And yellow is a very summery colour, so I thought I'd do a yellow tray.
That sounds like a good plan. Yeah. Okay.
Made from AquaCast.
And the world's smallest whisk.
That's not the world's smallest whisk. There are whisks that are smaller.
Not in here.
Well, no, not in here, but there are whisks that are smaller.
Uh-huh.
So I'm using, it's the largest, well, at the moment it's the largest tray I have.
Yeah.
Watch this space. But,
Yes, indeed.
yeah, so there may be a mould delivery. Anyway, and I ummed and ahed at this point about making it a marble, and I thought no, because that yellow is really giving me a summer vibe. So
Yeah,
I went with it.
okay.
And I thought I'll just use that. So I pour it all in, and then if anyone who has ever used any of the eco powders will know that once you've poured it all in, you have to tap.
And tap. And tap.
Tap.
And tap.
And jiggle.
And then
wiggle.
When you think you've done enough,
you do it just
give it a bit more.
Yeah, just when you think you've tapped it enough, you do it a little bit more. Now AquaCast takes standard AquaCast takes about 90 minutes to demold, which is fine because I'm a very patient person, and I am. I'm never in that much of a rush.
Yeah.
But you can get a turbo version, which I think is demoldable within 30 minutes. I think. Don't
you still have to let it?
With all of them, you still have to
wait 24 hours.
You still have to wait a good day or so.
Yeah.
Because all the moisture has to evaporate from out of the piece. So that's just going to sit there in its happy place, drying away.
Yeah.
And then I thought I do want to incorporate that green.
Okay.
Because I quite liked it.
That was the vivid green,
so
and they're from Homeware.
Yeah. So the
Design.
the colours that I'm using are vivid yellow and vivid green, both of which come from Homeware Design Co.
Okay.
Homeware Design Co. on Etsy. If I remember, I will leave a link in the description. If I don't, and you want a link, just
drop us a comment.
Yeah. Remind me in the comments, because sometimes I say stuff and I don't remember what I've said.
So that's the vivid yellow.
That's the vivid yellow.
Okay.
So I add that into the powder, the mix.
Yeah.
It's already quite yellow because of the I don't know what I'm trying to say here. It's already quite yellow because I didn't clean the pot in between, because ain't nobody got time for that, and I didn't need to. So
no.
I then added some emerald green. It was going to be vivid green, but I changed my mind.
That's unlike you.
Well, is it though?
No.
And I thought that this little pot, because it's in a flower shape, would look quite nice just sat to the one side of the tray, and you could put a little tea light in it, or
okay.
So depending on where you have the tray, you could either put a little tea light in it, or it would be quite good for jewellery pieces.
Like rings and things like that.
Yeah, pieces that you don't want to just, because it's quite a big tray.
Yeah.
So if it was if you took your rings off, for example, you could put them in this little pot, and they're not going to get lost.
No.
So I did that.
That's a good plan.
But, shocker, I made so much the second time round that I had enough to do this little heart.
And it looks like you've still got a bit more after that as well.
And I have still got a little bit more after that. So I make the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of overpour on there, which is
Well, that's all right. I mean,
but it doesn't matter because it's all kind
off.
of. I mean, the idea is it's a yellowy, greeny, summery feel, and I definitely got summer vibes from it.
Yeah.
It was either that or the fact it was 90 degrees in the shade when I did this. It was so hot, it was unreal.
Yeah. To be fair, it was quite warm in here when you were doing this.
And then I used the last bit of the bowl of the previous amount in this mould, and then of course I didn't have
enough.
Didn't have quite enough, so I made a little bit more, and I squished it all in. I literally had enough to do this one, and this is just a little lotus flower.
Okay.
Which isn't really part of the little my vision.
Your vision?
My artistic vision. It's not really part of it, but I had a bit left over, so in it goes.
Yeah.
Waste not, want not, as they say. And you can always use an extra tea light holder in the garden. And look, I was literally about a scoop off.
Oh.
And I thought, so I literally put a scoop from the bucket into the tub and a smidgen of water, and I just guessed it. I didn't weigh anything. I just guessed. I went for it. I know. I never do that, but
no, you
did.
Measure it within an inch of its life.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I didn't. I just guessed, which is the joy of a water-based eco powder. You can just guess if you want. I mean, I don't normally, but I did in this case. Anyway,
yeah.
Then it was time for the demould. Now, my levelling board, I made this prior to my levelling board being perfectly level. So there was...
there's a little spirit level in the middle of there, don't you?
Yeah, it doesn't work. It's rubbish. It always, doesn't matter where I put that board, that middle bubble always sits in the middle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why I bought a new spirit level. A nice long one.
But I've levelled your table now.
You have levelled my table. See, what I've worked out with Kirk is if I complain enough, eventually he's got a choice of either his ears bleeding or he just does it.
That if I am bored of my ears bleeding...
Yes, then he does it.
Yes.
And that makes me happy.
Yeah.
So my table is now level, but when I made this, sadly, it was not so level.
No, it was not.
So there was a little bit of overspill, overpour, something. So that the marble didn't hold as much as I would have. Well, no, because that's the heart. That's fine. I didn't expect the marble to be wonderful in there, but it didn't really show up much in there either. So, I was.
Is that because it's such a shallow, small mould?
No, I think it's because I wasn't very good. I very, very rarely marble things because it's not my
your thing, your vibe.
It's not my aesthetic. But I did like how it sort of gave the tips a little bit of a different feel.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was quite happy with it.
Mate, it'll change though when you wax it, won't
Yeah,
it?
when I seal it, it will definitely have a much stronger look. So, but yeah, that's a really nice little mould.
Yeah.
That is.
It always surprises me as well as how that tray looks almost white at the moment.
Yeah, and then once I wax it, it will be
yellow,
a clear and obvious yellow.
Yeah.
But I wanted it to be quite pastel-y, and you will see why in a moment.
Once you've
or two
demolded this one.
Once I finished...
Now, I saw this one and I thought you really struggled to get this out of the mould.
I did. And it's because there was so much overpour.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah. But this is quite... I've always struggled with this mould a little bit. It's quite tight in that little bit. But, yeah.
It's a nice little mould, though.
It is. It's a very pretty little mould. I like it. But we'll use that in the garden this summer, so... I was like, wow, we need tea light holders.
You can never have enough tea light holders.
Well, no, I like my candles.
Yeah.
So, and I was actually quite pleased how that one came out, because you've got sort of it goes from like a deep to a
It's like a little gradient in there. Yeah, no, that's.
So that was completely accidental, but I really liked it. So a little tip that you can do is, you can see on the right, I've got the deburring tool just there.
Yeah.
I don't use the deburring tool on resin at all. I only use it on eco resin because it does such a good job. Now, this is a UV DTF sticker.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw them on Sally from All Aboard Resin.
Yeah.
All Aboard Resin Creations.
Yeah.
And I went down a UV DTF rabbit hole, and I stayed there for quite some time.
Yeah.
And I have a plethora of UV DTF.
Now, I left this in because I thought this was quite funny.
Well, I remember somebody said to me...
Claire did this.
Yeah. No, someone else.
No, but I've seen Claire do it. Yeah.
You put a piece of tape one side.
Yeah, and a piece of tape on the other. Yeah.
So I thought, right, I can't get this back off. I'll do the magic method that everybody goes on about.
Yeah.
And
he literally just pulled the tape back off.
It did not work out for me. So I thought, okay, I'm going back to my pen then.
I must admit, that did make me chuckle.
Well, I'm glad it made you happy.
It did.
But yeah, I think you're supposed to use like sellotape or packing tape or something, but I didn't have any.
No, that was masking tape.
Literally all I had was masking tape.
Yeah, and it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
No.
But on the bright side, I have been able to impart this valuable piece of information that it does not work.
This is true.
Now, I put this down using the taco method, and of course,
look at that hero
immediately
popping
got
in there.
it wonky. And I was like, come and hold my tray. Come and hold the tray.
Yeah, because you were picking it up and it was moving the tray as well.
I know. So you had to hold it for me. You were my hero. As always.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Well, you do. You do, but we don't talk about it. It's private.
Yes.
So I put the sticker on, and then it's just a case of taking off the top layer. Again, I would say that when if you do use DTF on eco trays, you can put a top layer on now if you want of resin.
Oh, okay.
Now, I personally, and it is just a personal thing, I don't like to put a top layer of resin on eco resin unless it's a decal or something.
Yeah.
So if I've used like a vinyl decal, then I would, but with UV DTF, I don't, because it's not. I mean, there's if you can get that sticker off, fair play to you, because I couldn't. I've put them on other items, and then I've been there scraping it off, and it just doesn't come off. So I'm quite confident that
it's not going to come off.
It's not going to come off.
Okay.
But if it was like a standard decal, like vinyl,
or a tattoo,
vinyl decal or a tattoo, I would absolutely put a top layer of resin on, which is why I don't use vinyl decals very often.
Or tattoos. Yeah.
On my eco resin.
Yeah.
But there we go. So then it's just a case of waxing them and sealing them, and you can see how the colour changes. It is quite incredible. Now, I've got 2 tubs of wax out. One of them is the wax that comes from Homeware Design Co.
Yeah.
And it's very good. I just don't like using it. I find it to be too hard. It doesn't. I really struggle to get that stuff on and off. The one that I'm using on the right is concrete wax from stones, I think it is.
Okay.
And I absolutely love that stuff, and it smells like lemons, which was
okay,
which was very appropriate as I was doing a lemon coloured
tray, yeah.
But I like that. I thought that DTF sticker was really kind of...
See, that still looks quite muted there, but...
But I wanted it to be quite muted. I didn't want it to be super vibrant. I wanted it quite... I wanted it to be soft.
Yeah.
And some people would call that a bold colour, but to me that's quite soft because I like quite vibrant.
Yeah.
Like most of the things that I do are quite vibrant, so that is quite soft for me.
Okay.
But I was quite pleased with it.
No, I think it's really cool.
I was.
I'd like the little wellies.
Yeah, I just thought it was really cool. I liked it. I was very happy with it. So
well, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So what are you doing there now? What's that?
So I'm using the other wax on the heart, and I think I used that one on the little lotus as well.
Okay.
And while I'm doing that, let me just tell you about the collaboration. So like I said, it's run by Claire from Claire's Crafty Corner.
Yeah. And
there is a playlist in the description. And this collaboration was open to all channels, all crafting channels on YouTube, under 15,000 subscribers. So it's specifically aimed at small channels. Yep. Although I'm not going to lie, if I'm honest, if I had 14,999 subscribers, I wouldn't consider myself a small channel. Just, yeah. I'm going to throw that out there. I would be like, I am a YouTuber.
Yeah.
But, you know, I totally see where she's coming from.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's amazing. So there is a playlist in the description, and I am sure there will be absolutely loads and loads and loads and loads of people taking part in this. Yeah. Because Claire was doing collaborations for quite a long time before she had a break. And I know that I desperately wanted to do a Claire's collaboration.
Yep.
And she stopped just before we started our channel.
Yeah.
And I was very sad because I was like, I'll never do a Claire's Crafty Corner.
I know, there was tears and everything.
Well, I don't know if there was tears. I had a conciliatory bar of chocolate.
To console yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So...
And while you were eating, you're going, Claire made me do it.
Yeah. Claire made me do it. And because I'm now in a Claire's Crafty Corner collaboration,
yep.
I'm going to have a celebratory bar of chocolate. And it's Claire that made me do it.
Yep.
So, there we go. In this one, so here I'm just finishing off buffing. I really like the process of putting wax on and then giving it a really good buff.
Yeah.
I like buffing them.
Why?
Well, 2 reasons. Firstly, I can watch whatever I want without worry that I'm going to overpour something.
Yeah, because that's happened.
That has happened. I was engrossed in something and I overpoured.
Yeah, no, you were pouring resin while watching a video.
I was engrossed in the video and I overpoured.
And you forgot that you were pouring resin at the same time, and it just went everywhere.
I did, but I'm of an age where you're allowed to forget things. It's expected almost. But
like 3 seconds after you started doing it.
I know. So I popped some feet on.
Yeah.
And then it was off to the glamour shots.
Yeah.
And here they are.
Yeah.
So there is my contribution to the summer theme.
Yeah. Oh, I think that looks really cool.
Yeah. I felt it made me feel summery. Definitely.
Yeah.
So if you think you like our chaotic kind of creations.
Yeah.
Do feel free to hit that like button.
And while you're down there, give the subscribe a little tickle.
And if you already have...
Thank you very much.
And hopefully we will see you in the next one.
Yeah.
And don't forget to check out
everybody
the
else,
playlist.
yeah, because it's going to be really good fun to watch.
It's going to be a good binge day.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, bye for now.
Bye for now.